Good morning, guys. Today I'll introduce you to a new game you can play with cards with friends and family. Obviously, you need a minimum of 2 players to play this game, but any number of players can play this game. You can even add more than one deck together so that more people can play. At the beginning of the game, each player is dealt 4 cards, and they are arranged like this: 2 at the bottom and 2 on top of them. And each player can look and see the bottom cards, the 2 bottom cards. After that, we start the game. The goal of this game is to minimize the summation of your cards. How you achieve this? Players take turns drawing from the pile and exchanging the card they drew with any card from their cards. And by doing this, they are trying to minimize the summation of their cards. Of course, drawing a small card, a small value card, is always the best. That's what we are trying to do, because by replacing these 2 cards, I'm minimizing the summation of my cards. But we take turns doing this. I replace this card and I throw the card that I don't want in the pile. If a player thinks that the summation of their cards is good, is the minimal they can achieve, they will say memory. After that, each other player has 1 turn, and then we'll terminate the game. And at the end of the game, we will show all the players show their cards and start adding. The player with the minimum score wins. You can play more than 1 turn and keep a score. For example, Mark achieved the minimum score. Then that's a 0 for Mark, and the other players will put and will record their summation. For example, Michael has a summation of 10. Then we write Michael 10. Mark, we said, is a 0. Okay. We have Christine, for example. She has a summation of 20. We write 20 beside Christine. And let's say that the game ends when a player reaches 100, for example, he is terminated. And then we play another turn. And let's see, the score now is like 12, 25, and 40. So when another player reaches 100, we terminate him. And the last player remaining wins. Now, some important rules and some important and special cards in this game. You have the 7, 8, 9, 10, and the red king, which means the diamond and the heart king, the red king, and any. Okay, why these cards are special? If you throw in the middle pile a 7 or an 8, you can have a peek at one of your cards. By throwing a 9 and a 10, you can have a peek at any of the other players' cards. The red king, meaning the king of hearts or the king of diamonds, is special because it's a 0 value card. So you need to keep that in your cards. By throwing a jack in the pile, you can replace one of your cards with any other card of the other players. Of course, what you are trying to do is to give the other players a high value card and to take from them a small value card. One last rule: the player before you threw this card, let's say threw this card, threw a 1. If you have a 1, you can just throw it like this. I'm assuming this card is a 1. If you have a 1 or a card similar to this card, 1, 6, 9, depending on this card, you can throw the card in the pile. So by this, you are minimizing your cards by eliminating one of them. So you are eventually minimizing the sum of your cards. That's the game. Don't forget to follow me. Have a nice day and stay tuned.